that weren't multi-platform and things like that. And that's not even the PS3's fault. The PS3 is way more powerful than 360. So, I'm going to pass on, go on. Who's ever next? I think is it Keller or Baum?
Yeah, I wanted to mention about the split screen. When you mentioned the split screen, couch gaming, bringing your buddies together, the best experience I've had that in the past year was playing through Mario 3D World with a bunch of buddies. We got together. It was 5 of us. We got some drinks. We got some food. We played through the whole game in one sitting. It was great. That was, if you're looking for that type of experience, that's where your Nintendo consoles are. Anybody else, it's just completely online, which is fine. I don't. We're all in different places of the world here.
I don't put in front of anyone, but that's 90% of why Halo 2 or 3 or whatever. People always say that Halo's not a very good FPS. Well, compared to other games on PC, they're right. It's not superior to a lot of them, but it has the couch concept, and that's getting 4 people together and playing all night, or even a whole weekend. It's tough to beat that, really.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it at this point, though.
It's incredible. That's
we're keeping it alive here, but I mean, it's pretty much dead for most people.
Yeah. So
you mentioned about the making it hard to develop, right? I don't think the argument that third parties are making is actually that it's hard to develop something. If it's the game, if the console is selling, if the console is popular, they'll develop for it. They'll find a way to do it. They're getting paid to work at that. The real issue that's happening right now with Nintendo, that's always happened with Nintendo, is that they like to demand authority over their consoles. It's the Nintendo console. You make games for Nintendo. It's not a game. It's not a system. A game system for third parties per se. They're not gonna bend over backwards for them. It is how it's always been, and I think that's keeping that quality control on the console, which are you're basically your video game machine compared to your computer, which is your everything machine. Keeping that that a Nintendo seal of quality to a point is good for that sort of environment, that closed environment that is consoles. You want to say something, Bammy?
All right, so here's the thing, man. This isn't 1991 anymore. That Nintendo seal of quality meant something back in there. Late 80s.
You played 3D Land. You played World. You played Waifu Emblem, man. That's Nintendo.
That Nintendo seal of quality was meant to keep the third parties in check.
Yeah.
That doesn't work in 2014 anymore.
It still works.
They have a choice now. That's the thing. And Nintendo's scaring them away. They're like, why should we listen to your rules when the other producers are allowing us to do what we need to do to get the job done?
Really quick.
They're not letting them do what they want. They're bending over for the third parties to do what they want.
Really quick though. A
One second. You want to, Elliot?
A lot of people said that the Wii U version of Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, was the superior version to all the other ones. I don't know if graphically it was the best, but I guess frame rate wise and
it was a 60 probably, like all your games on the Wii U.
Everything on the 60. Saying that was a superior version. Plus, it took full advantage of the smaller screen on the controller to you can play with that. And then of course it sold the least.
But that's the thing though, because maybe you get 1 or 2 guys who are willing to bend to your will, but you're not going to get the majority of them. And when the majority of them would rather turn their back on your company and go to your competitors, you have a problem. You have to open up the gates and allow it to be a little bit more easier for you to make profit. They're making it
difficult. It's open. It's open on the PC. It's open on the PC. But there's waifu, there's freaking a Monster Quest, fucking Monster Quest, but the PC, you got everything on that thing.
Oh my God!
They keep the consoles, controlled for these certain things.
You have no idea how hard it is for me to say this stuff, but it's just for me. I could count on both hands how many times I've turned on my Wii U. That's how bad it is. I love Nintendo. That's what I'm trying to tell you. For someone who's Elliot can tell you, I'm such a hardcore defender of Nintendo. I'm like a mad dog. I might as well be a drone. It's terrible. But at this point, if I can turn around and say listen, this doesn't work for me anymore, and there's a lot of people who are backing me up, there's obviously a problem, and something needs to change. So I don't know who's next.
I get you. No, I get you. Bami. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, I've been with Nintendo since Super Nintendo, buying the console goddamn day one, even with the GameCube, even with the Wii, the Nintendo Wii. But now you see, I put the Wii below the PS3 really, and I don't really and now the Wii U, I've gone even further than you. I cannot even buy it. Not because the console is bad. No, the console is wonderful. I mean, in terms of what they call the asymmetric gameplay, or the games that Nintendo are still producing, like Super Mario 3D World, or even third-party games, like you said. You mentioned Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which has better graphics on the Wii U, big time. But still, I mean, there's something that is missing, which is faith in that console, faith in the whole concept. The concept of selling a console, not for gamers anymore, but for managers in their rooms, or for I don't know, for old people who don't have any gaming culture, or just naming the console as the previous console plus a letter U, Wii U, creates a lot of. Nintendo has never done that. Nintendo has always been about bringing the new name. Like, hey, Nintendo Ultra 60, it was the Ultra 64. What the hell is this? It was the GameCube, and they suffered to bring that name. And now you're telling me the Wii, they suffered to bring that name again. Wii was something completely new. How do you come with something so simple, yet so attractive? And then you get lazy, and you tell me Wii U. That's not Nintendo. That's not Nintendo anymore.
The other thing that I know for Bomb is that while the Wii U has had games that are of a high quality, they're not particularly attractive to Bomb specifically. Games like Pikmin. I know that he's not really into Pikmin, which people aren't into. Not everybody has to like everything. So he doesn't really like Pikmin. I heard that Wonderful 101 is divisive. If you like Wonderful 101, it's like the best game ever, or like amazing. But it's a really tough game, I guess, to get into, and it's really strange. So that's like par for the course for Nintendo, coming up with unique or strange games. And if you don't like them, I guess you're out. So, Keller. The other thing is, you're absolutely right on the branding. Calling it the Wii U, I think, is the biggest mistake they could have made. I actually had to explain to my wife what it even was after, and she's a gamer. Like, she knows games, and she had no idea what the Wii U was. She thought it was just a controller, and trying to explain that to parents who buy games for kids, not even for children, but like for kids on Christmas. A lot of high schoolers get their consoles on Christmas and things like that, and then trying to explain them what the Wii U is, that's tough. So go ahead, Keller.
Yeah, it's a really, really awful mistake, and of course, I don't know how they're gonna figure it out to get it to fix it. Make sure that people know that it's actually in their console. It's been 2 years now, and people are still complaining about that, and it's true. It's an issue. One thing that I think Nintendo is doing well right now to attract third parties per se is really funding these things from the ground up. You saw Bayonetta, right? It was funded by Nintendo, and they're paying out right now. And I think as the people keep on crying that Nintendo's dead, I think they're gonna do that more. They're gonna have these like sort of they're gonna open the coffers, while it's gonna come out there, he's gonna go to the coffers, be like freaking like praying in front of Yamauchi's tomb, Yo, let me get the keys. I need the keys. I need to save gaming. And then they're gonna get more games coming on the Wii U, funded by Nintendo. Basically making some third parties become like pseudo second parties, and I think it's gonna be good for the system. What's up, Bammy?
Okay, so to people who are listening to this, I have a YouTube that this will most likely be on. I went to a Best Buy recently, and I took some pictures of like the consoles they had out. And while I was taking some pictures of like the lineup of the products, there was a lady and a customer, and the lady was asking about the Wii U. This customer service agent was helping a lady who was asking about the Wii U, and the customer service agent, or CSA, was having so much of an issue describing the difference between a Wii and a Wii U that I had to be that one guy, that one nerdy guy that overhears your conversation and has to step in. I had to step in to do someone else's job to explain what the difference between a Wii U and a Wii was. So we've discussed this earlier. You guys are absolutely right. They totally botched the marketing. They botched the naming. I don't know what they're thinking. I just feel like they're just overconfident, to be honest with you. They're just really, really, really overconfident. And that overconfidence cost them. But I have faith in Nintendo. They've done it before. They turned shit around. I'm hoping they will. But right now, man, if I could pick up two new consoles and have more fun with them for a system I had almost 2 years, I don't know. So, I don't know. Who's next? Who's next?
Really quick, I have 2014 in video games open right now, the release dates. And the only Wii U game on here is Super Smash Brothers. And it's TBA. So.
TBA, you know what I mean? That's like Christmas time, early 2014 spring. You know that weird springtime.
I mean, there's nothing out for the Xbox One and PS4, but that's not good. Still going on, Hussam. Sorry about cutting in.
No. Go ahead, Elias. Continue. I mean, no problem with that.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay, yeah, well, just I wanted to add about the Wii U, let's call it demise, as the name of the boss in Zelda, you know. It's demise, and they call it demise in the end. It's ironical. What I wanted to add is we have to put the problem in context. Now, let's see, Nintendo is a full Japanese company, forever has been and forever will be. Even with their first party are Japanese developers in general, and I don't know if you noticed that, but all big Japanese developing companies like Square Enix or SquareSoft or Enix before the fusion, Capcom, Konami, those big three who made Marvels in the 90s and the PS1 era, suddenly lost their momentum to developers like Inward or DICE, Criterion Games, and I don't know, but these developers are in crisis. The Japanese developers are in crisis. They didn't listen to the demands of the Western public in terms of games. If you see the Zelda games. The Zelda games or the Resident Evil games for Capcom or the Final Fantasy games for Square and so on. These games, like, they total interest in new generation. I mean, and even for their 25 years old franchises, I feel that they cannot keep up. That they are unable to bring something new for the Western player, who, let's face the truth, is the majority of the gaming community now.
Oh.
I don't know. This is what I think. I mean, this is what I think. If we put it into context, even with the first party games that I grew a fan of, like Super Mario or Zelda, even that doesn't make me want to turn this goddamn Wii or goddamn Wii U on to play it. I mean, this is what happens now. To me, this is what I think about. It's about the first party games as well.
As painful as it is for me to even say this, but I agree with you. I hate it with a passion. The fact that the leaders of the gaming world, of the gaming industry, the Japanese now have to kowtow and pander to American gamers. Because let's be honest.
Kowtow.
No, they they absolutely have to, unfortunately, because we unfortunately have the most say. Because we have the spending money for this stuff. A lot of man-children in the basement. I take that back. But no, I don't know. I am with you on this. I feel like, hey, look, if there are like Kelleher said, that he got together with a bunch of friends and enjoyed some beers and a good old round of Mario 3D Land, and 3D World, and that's good and dandy. But for some of us who are looking for a little bit more, there's not much beyond maybe Monster Hunter, or if you really like the wonderful 101 sales or 101 copies sold, that's your bag too. But there's a lot for us to play on there, and that's why we have either the PC and